Normally, Donald Trump makes a huge show of everything he signs: new legislation, executive orders, presidential memos, happy Pesach cards to his Jewish friends, whatever, right? Not so for that recently passed Russian sanctions bill. There were questions. What would Trump do about this bill? Is he going to veto it? Well, the optics would be terrible. Will he just not sign it and eventually it will become the law, so he can't be criticized for signing it, but he can't be criticized for obstructing it? Well, ultimately, he signed it very quietly, no press, no cameras, but he also called it unconstitutional. The White House announced the signing of this Russian sanctions bill shortly after 11 a.m. Eastern yesterday, and they said the bill includes, quote, a number of clearly unconstitutional provisions. Wait a second. The guy who was the Constitution candidate willingly signed something into law that is not constitutional? I thought the oath of office that Trump signed off on, agreed to, pledged to uphold when he was inaugurated was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And he willingly signed something that's not constitutional.
Well, I mean, what was he supposed to do? The bill is going to become law one of three ways: whether he signs it, whether he vetoes it and it's overridden, or whether he just ignores it and it becomes law. So at this way, I mean, he can go down kicking and screaming, but at least he doesn't have to face the backlash of looking like he's so clearly tied to Russia.
Well, that's the argument that some were making, which is, listen, Trump doesn't have to agree with it. He's doing the right thing by not obstructing. This is Trump not doing what the bad Democrats did for so long of obstruction by just going along with it. You're telling me that as a constitutional conservative, you support Trump opting not to obstruct by signing something into law that he believes is not constitutional? I think it is the most BS defense of what Donald Trump did here. And John McCain doesn't even agree with Trump. And we talked earlier, John McCain now has a higher approval rating with Democrats than with Republicans, which is, I mean, we are living in bizarro world right now. John McCain said, the framers of our Constitution made the Congress and the president co-equal branches of government. This bill has already proven the wisdom of that choice. And that's, of course, because the bill will prevent Donald Trump from unilaterally easing sanctions that are in place against Russia. These are just very strange times that we're living in here. We have a president choosing not to be obstructionist by signing into law something that he believes violates the Constitution. The defenders of Trump along these lines, though, hey, he's doing the right thing by not obstructing, they're completely irredeemable, right? They will never say they disapprove of the job Trump is doing.
Well, it's also just hard to find where Trump's center is. I mean, what ideologically motivates him? Yeah, it's interesting, too, because the Trump administration wanted to lift Russian sanctions in the first few days that they were in office.
Almost immediately they started working.
So if there was any way out of this, they would have taken that option, but they just couldn't. They were backed into a corner.
Trump's next performance review with Putin is going to be really, I'm sorry, I'm talking about completely equal meeting of two international leaders. I don't know why I would call it a performance review. This is fascinating, what is going on. And it's also clear Russia doesn't like this. They've been very clear that they don't like this and that there well may be consequences to signing the sanctions bill.
Maybe the consequences are a P-tape being released. I don't know.
If that P-tape exists, that has to be someone. There's hackers all over the world doing incredible things that only like Trump doesn't understand, but Baron Trump, he's amazing with computers. Maybe he understands what these hackers are doing. They've got to be close to getting access to that P-tape if it exists, right?
I think so.
Maybe we'll someday find out about that. The video you just watched was made possible by support from you. Please go to patreon.com/David Pakman Show. You can make a pledge of as little as $1 per month. And every dollar helps to support the work that we're doing, particularly in light of the YouTube ad boycott, which has been really bad.